Well, hello Edinburgh, how are you doing? Yay! I want to say, Struan's right, you know how we can win this? By standing together across party lines, okay? And that's really, really important to me, but wasn't my starting line at all, so I'm going to start. I could talk to you in a number of voices, and it's my great privilege to do so here today. I could talk to you as an academic who works at a university, as a historian, or as an EU citizen. I'm going to talk to you as an affinity Scot instead. Which kind of combines all of them, really. But first of all, I would like to thank Jem for inviting me, and I would like to thank all of you for coming. It's my privilege to be here today. As a historian, I know that we are making history here together today by standing together for a better future, because we are saying enough is enough. But I want to start this story somewhere else. In 1999, because that is when my story or my connection started with you, Scotland. Because that is when I packed up my little car in northwest Germany, my hometown, and drove towards the Dutch border, just crossing it, you know, Schengen and all that, no check. Drove to the ferry port of Holyrood, jumped on the ferry, overnight ferry, all the way up to Newcastle, where I now live. So that's a kind of funny coincidence, maybe in some ways. I have to say I was freaked out because I had seen on the map that there are lots of roundabouts at the ferry port, and I'd never driven on the other side of the road, so there you go. But anyway, I managed, clearly, and I drove up all the way to Edinburgh, to the bypass, round the bypass, off at the exit that would take me to Collington, where I was going to live for the next year, to do a voluntary social year in a home for disabled people. Yes, the EU who made that, well, not directly possible, but much easier. Would I have filled in 500 application forms and visa forms to do that? I don't know. But maybe not. So anyway, I drove up a little hill where the house was where I was going to live. I got out of my car, I rang the doorbell, and someone opened the door. Unbeknown to me, of course, at the time, a resident of the home. She didn't say anything. She just gave me a hug. And that, I think, Scotland, is my relationship with you. You give EU citizens a hug, and not just me there that day. The First Minister on the 24th of June 2016 did the same. She was the only leader of a government to do that. She said that EU citizens are at home in Scotland, that they are part of this place, that it is in their hearts, and that they should not be affected by this. Oh, actually, I hadn't realized this. I'm looking at her right there. There's a lovely poster there. So this is what Scotland is about, really. But of course, this isn't just a story about me or the people that Mike's already talked about. It's a story of over 3 million of us. 3 million lives. In fact, it's not actually that at all. It's nearly 5 million lives, because our British friends in continental Europe, who have made continental Europe their home, are as affected. We sit in the same boat, which is why we have been standing shoulder to shoulder all this time. Theresa May said that she needed to make us bargaining chips to protect the rights of our British friends in rubbish, a lie, just like everything else. So lives on hold, I tell you, 638 days today. It's not good enough. We are not protected yet. We are Alexander's mother. Alexander's mother is 75 years old, and Brexit has broken her. Because she has decided, despite the fact that she's lived here since the 1960s, that she will leave. She can no longer cope with what this Brexit situation has created. She is worried and afraid, partly because she doesn't quite fit into the criteria, because she came before Britain was even a member of any European community. She is worried. She's leaving her children and her grandchildren behind. Is that the country you want to be part of? No! We are all the people from the Testimonies of In Limbo, a collection of testimonies about stories of our lives. And in one of those, and I'm going to quote this just to get it right, one of the testimonies says, "I loved the UK, but I have no words anymore. Maybe there is hope, but really I don't see where it could come from unless you, our, well, British friends, Scottish friends, create it, she said. And that's why I am, on behalf of all of us, grateful that you are here today. We are the lady from a choir who sang in that choir for decades. She no longer sings in that choir because another choir lady told her that she'll wave her off at the airport when she is deported. We are me, over 3 million of us, forced to download an app to let that app decide our future. I'm not joking if you haven't heard this yet. That's how it's going to work. Settled status will rob us of rights, and to get it, we're going to have to pay for it, and we're going to have to download that app, scan our passport, take a selfie, as I learned, which I hadn't realized just yet, to match it all up. And by the end of that process, we will have fewer rights than before. Is that a country you want to be? No! But of course, that's not where it stops. Because this is obviously affecting EU nationals in particular, but it's affecting all of you, of course, as well. Because we are your neighbors, we are your friends, we are your colleagues, we are your lovers, we are your family, we're all Europeans. Because we are your doctors, your nurses, your builders, your carers. Because we live with you, we laugh with you, we cry with you, because we love you. But we love you too. Only collateral now. But there's more collateral, of course, to this than us. Because Brexit means a future built on the foundations of hate and lies. And Cambridge Analytica, by the looks of it. Brexit means a future that relies on chlorinated chicken and holding hands with a Putin puppet. Brexit means a future that seeks to recreate a past that never existed in the first place. Brexit means a future that will rob Britons, and young Britons in particular, of a world of opportunities and of rights. Brexit means a future for the few, not the many. Make no mistake, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That Brexit future, it simply is not good enough. And that's why I'm here today. That's why I will continue to fight this fight. And that's why I hope, as an Affinity Scot, as an EU citizen, as a European, that you will continue to fight that fight with me.